Well, Nigerians woke up to reports of the proposed new licensing charges on port operations by the customs, effectively increasing fees for clearing agents and agencies renewals, which, as of now, is 215,000 to 4 million naira. Bank bonds for clearing agents from 350,000 naira to 20 million naira. In fact, there's one of the fees, bonded warehouses renewal, from 60,000 naira to 10 million naira. And it goes on and on, bonded warehouses fresh from 60,000 to 20 million naira. So what this means is that port operations would spike. The cost of port operations will spike. And for the end users, that is the everyday Nigerian, the prices would also follow suit. And this is a major challenge. Yes, the proposal is meant to take effect from next year, but already this is causing a lot of uncertainty, uproar, and the rest. So this morning, we're joined on the program by the Chairman House Committee on Customs, Honorable Leke Abejide, is live with us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Honorable Abejide, and welcome to the program.
Good morning to you all, and good morning, Nigerians.
This report came as a shocker. I mean, people are still grappling with the removal of subsidy, having to pay for high, transport costs, running costs, even electricity costs, food costs, and the rest. Now we have this proposal from the customs. So speak to us about the backstory. What exactly is at play here, Honorable, with this proposed tariff increase?
Okay, thank you again for having me. Well, I believe is number one, to come up to speed with modern reality. Then number two, for control. If you look at that of bonded terminals, bonded warehouses, you will discover that there is proliferation of warehouses everywhere now. And most of them are not doing anything. Most of them are just established in order to maybe fly containers or take goods away. Customs is not even in control anymore. And it was not like that in those days when people like us were in operation. You know, a bonded terminal will have all equipment that is required to be able to function effectively, be able to deliver to clients on time. But if you go to most of these so-called bonded terminals now, you will not see forklifts, you will not see other equipment that are needed to do the operations. And it's because they see it very easy to, establish. And that time that they put it at 50 million, what was the exchange rate? Around 150 naira to $1. It was $333,000. But if you look at that time and now, it's not the same. The exchange rate today is hovering around 1,500, 1,550. So if you divide it by this 500 million, it's around $332,000. So that is one. Then for control, so that they'll be able to minimize the numbers of all these bonded terminals that are everywhere doing something that they cannot do. In fact, I was in Kano, I left Kano in 2019. As at the time I left, we had just two terminals, bonded terminals, that is inland containers terminal and APMT terminal. But as at the time I went back now, there are almost 10 or more. And you will discover that most of them have nothing to do. They don't have the required equipment. They were just, using it as a way to, take goods away without even duty. There are a lot of atrocities being committed by most of them. So with this, they'll be able to pull them down, and those who can work effectively, that have equipment, will not be in business. To me, that is the best thing to do for now.
So, Honorable, let's understand it clearly. So first, you will have to explain to Nigerians who are not familiar with the ports what a bonded terminal or a bonded warehouse is and how it's different from any other one.
Oh, okay,
so
okay. Sorry?
Just a moment. Just in addition to that, okay, maybe answer that, then I'll ask my question so that people are familiar with what you're talking about.
Okay. Bonded terminals are terminals that was designed to decongest the port so that one vessel comes by transhire. Transhire is a document you will apply to custom with, telling custom that you have a bond in the bank that covers the goods you want to carry without duty payment until it gets to the destination. That is your own particular terminal you want to transfer the containers to. So it's usually given to places where there are no ports, or where there are ports and there are congestions like Lagos. So we have them a bit far away from the port so that when the vessel comes, they either move those containers either by barges, which is a recent thing now, or by trucks to those terminals. But they will go with custom escort and with that transhire. There will be no duty collected on them until I can't hear you anymore. Hello?
No, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So until when the container gets to the terminal that was licensed by Nigeria Customs Service, no duty will be paid. But with a bond, and that bond must cover the items you are carrying. So you will discover that somebody who's having 50 million bond is carrying one container or two containers has already covered that bond, but he can use that same bond to carry 100 containers. Some of them now, even now that technology has come up, some will leave the port, it will not get to the destination, to be diverted. So this is what we call bonded terminals. That is under bond, and then you can carry your goods there and pay duty there, not pay duty before picking them. That is the meaning of bonded terminal.
Okay, so I'm looking at, so let me look at, because from this technical end, we'll get to the ones that are relatable to Nigerians. This is primarily for the players. So we understand that bonded warehouses, fresh licenses will now go from 60,000 to 20 million. I don't know how many percent that is at the top of my head immediately. Bonded warehouses renewal will go from 60,000, if I'm correct here, to about 10 million. So is this a question of trying to sanitize the system through discrimination by cost? Is that what is happening here?
No. You see, I did the repeal and the reenactment of Nigeria Customs Service Act. You know, before it was called SEMA, Custom and Excise Management Act of 1958. So most of these charges is as old as that SEMA. So now that the act is in operation, everything has to change. It's not about discrimination, I told you. It is about doing the right thing. For example, one container before, maybe the cost of a container may not be more than 5 million naira. But now, because of devaluation of naira, you will see that one container can cost 20 million, or even more, depending on the items you are carrying. So, for them to adjust this cost, in reality, with what is happening in the economy, it is not a bad idea. So, and I believe those operators too, they understand. The chairman of Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents, the chairman of APAPA and Tinkan, they were with me 3 days ago. And I tried to educate them on some things, and it was clear to them. You see, this is not new thing. It is about the reality on ground. It is not maybe they're trying to discriminate. See, this is not a cheap business to venture into. If you want to go to a bonded terminal operation, you must be ready. Because even to buy the forklift alone, you will need close to 500 million naira. To do the terminal, you will need close to that 500 million naira. So, what is there for you to have a bond to operate your place of 500 million naira? If you can invest billions to put the infrastructure in place, you should know that all these goods are to pay duty. What if they go with them without duty? The essence of collecting bond from them is that if they default, the custom will not discharge the bond as duty evaded to federal government of Nigeria.
Right.
It's just a way to block the leakages, nothing more. It's not that the custom is going to collect the money into their pocket. The money is still their own money, but it's in the bank. Any attempt for them to default, the money will go back to federal government of Nigeria.
Well, Honorable, you said you've had conversations with some of the operators, but we have it on good authority, and I'm sure you're aware that a lot of these importers and brokers are protesting against this increase. Yes, absolutely. Let's ensure that we clean up the system. Let's ensure that global best practices. Just a second, Honorable. Let's ensure that global best practices are upheld in that sector. That's understandable. But think about the impact this will have on the economy. Prices are high as it is as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, the hike in electricity costs, the hike in food prices, and all of that. So a lot of Nigerians have it up to this point. I mean, data costs already. So if you're going to, measure the impact of this, a lot of the increase is 20-fold more than that. Have you tried to measure the impact it will have on prices of these goods when they come into the Nigerian market? Wouldn't it be higher than the reach of Nigerians now?
I just told you that. Which one? Are you referring to the 500 million bonded bond?
All of the increased costs. Naturally, the operators will pass it on to the Nigerian consumer.
Let me tell you that the impact to the economy will be infinitesimal.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
If you want to renew your license and then you are paying 10 million naira as an agent who is working, this 10 million naira is for a whole year. And I want to tell you that most of these agents can do job worth of 10 billion, 20 billion. So they will not even feel it. It is the way to sanitize. If you know you are not capable to operate, there's no point. In those days, all I know is that few licenses operate. So if you are a licensed customs agent, you can also use a competent licensed customs agent to operate. It does not mean you must go and get your own license. At least 10 agents, or even more, use one license. This is what I know very well. But if you want to have your own license, you must be capable of having your own license. And you must be able to operate. So what's the essence of having a license and you don't have the job? That, to me, is not going to translate to any increase in cost. Then, issue of the 500 million. The 500 million is not spent. It's just a backup. Because some of them they normally default. Once they default, that money goes to government. That is the essence. It's not that it's an increasing cost. It's for you to, put it down that if I run away without paying this duty that I say I will pay when I get to my terminal, then this money should be taken. It's not that it's going to be added to any cost. Not at all.
All right. Honorable, so let's look at, I know that you've talked about they do a lot of turnovers as far as their business is concerned. I'm seeing clearing agencies renewal from 215,000 a year to 4 million. New ones, that's agents and agencies, fresh license from slightly over 500,000 to 10 million naira. But let's speak broadly now to the issue of the FOB that was approved by that legislation.
Before you go to FOB, 215,000 has been there more than 20 years. More than 20 years. It has been like that.
Okay.
What is 215,000 naira today? It has been there more than 20 years.
So I understand perfectly. So at the end of the day, we cannot take away the fact that
4 million to
yes.
a real licensed custom agent.
Okay, I just needed you to land. But the point I'm making is that it's a significant increase.
I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
What I'm trying to say is a significant increase as far as this is concerned for these people who are operators and all of that, as far as the ports are concerned, from 215 to about 4 million, and then fresh ones from 500K or 500,000 to 10 million naira. We can't dismiss the fact that government is aggressive on their revenue drive, which is why I'm coming to the issue of the FOB. The last time we had a conversation, I think on another sister program, we talked about our FOB issues, which has to do with free on board charges that has to do with the person who is actually the importer. But one of the big challenges I want you to speak to is broadly is that the charges at the ports are quite heavy on businesses. And I gave you an example of, for instance, a car. Say 5 years ago, if you were buying an average, say, a regular, maybe a Toyota, sorry for mentioning them, but just for reference, you could, with everything you spend, buying the vehicle, clearing it, getting to you, everything could be less than 3 million or 2.5 million. Today, as we speak, you have to be around 10 million naira. So you can see the astronomical increase. And that has to do with the clearing and all of that. But you had mentioned to the effect that any car more than 10 years is supposed to be impounded, but this is just graced by the importers or by the government or customs to say, okay, rather impound the vehicle, look, pay this amount of money. What can we do? Because the cost, the effects, the cost eventually is passed on to all of us who are consumers. We can't close our eyes. On one hand, we can be celebrating that government is making huge revenues from custom, but businesses are getting the hit, and consumers at the back end receiving all of the hits from the pass-on effect of the suppliers.
Okay, let me start from the 4% FOB issue, that it's not an increasing cost. No, before now on the dashboard of duty, we have what we call Comprehensive Import Supervision Scheme, 1% CISS, and the custom has what they call cost of collection, 7%. So both have gone. 7% cost of collection, gone. 1% comprehensive import supervision, gone. The only thing that comes now is the 4% FOB. And that is to tell you now that even now it is only 3% increase you can see, because before the 1% was on the dashboard of duty payment. So now coming to the issue of cost of vehicles. In Ninth Assembly, when we were doing the Finance Act, I suggested that this age limit should be increased to 15 years. That is, vehicles that is 15 years old can come into Nigeria. But they insisted that it is going to bring an environmental problem. The emission that will be coming out. To me, a 15 years old vehicle is not bad. So most of the agents, I saw one video, one agent was citing 012, 010, now 1 million. It is not customs. It's a policy of the government. And if they have followed what the law says exactly, that 010, 012 are not supposed to go out of the port. So they only help them by taking the year to the year that is commensurate with what the policy says. And if you are now giving the value of a vehicle that is 20 years old and you're giving it the value of the 10 years old, it cannot be the same. The price will go up. So this is what is responsible. What we can do by legislation, which I will support, is by increasing the age. That is, vehicle of 15 years can come into the country. And with this, normal duty that is supposed to be paid can be paid. Maybe it may not be more than 1.52 million for the Corolla. But now, because of the age limit, you see duty going to 5 million, 6 million on just small Corolla vehicle. It's because of the age limit policy of the government.
Honorable, Honorable,
this policy should be
Honorable,
reviewed.
my apologies.
And then?
My apologies, Honorable. I commend you for, and we're going to hold you to it, I commend you for saying you're going to make that move. But are we not being, I'm trying to be careful with my words now. Let's be realistic. How many Nigerians can afford cars? This is the car that the average Nigerian...
You know, it is not just it is during the late president that this was done.
No, I understand.
The age limit has been there from Abacha time anyway.
Yes,
they keep on reviewing it every 2 years.
We're trying to make way. We're trying to make headway. So this is just, us trying to layer the issues. So are we not, to be realistic, how many Nigerians can afford cars, even if the car is 5 million? And our import substitution as far as car manufacturing is not robust enough. Even if you tell Nigerians, every Nigerian to start buying cars in Nigeria, our capacity cannot meet up. I think we had one of the biggest manufacturers of cars in Nigeria the other time. We asked him, how much is his lease car? He said 22 million. His least, the smallest of them. How many Nigerians can dole out 5 million? So when we are putting policies are not supposed to be bottlenecks. Policies are supposed to drive trade, make life easy for a lot of people. So as much as we talk about environmental issues, is this still fair to say 15 years? Can't we increase it, given our economic reality? That's just a question.
Yeah, I believe we can do that better. Even government, when they try to increase it, the local assemblers here, the local manufacturers here kicked against it. They worked seriously against it and said that they want to kill their own businesses. So this is another challenge. But me, I believe that even the local assemblers, no ordinary man can buy their vehicles. Because if you ask them, they don't have vehicles less than 10 million. Their own vehicles are so expensive. I would suggest that for the time being, we should increase this age limit to 15 years. To me, it was 20 years I proposed. But they say even 15 years they can't do. So if we can even do 15 years, it will bring the cost down.
All right.
And you remember two things affected the cost of the vehicle. Two things. One, the devaluation. Then two, this age limit policy. So if they increase the age, you will see that customers will be able to collect less duty on them.
All right.
And by the time they get to market, the price will be cheaper.
So inadvertently, this is still at the table of the current government, right? So the current government is able to make a change. But before we let you go, Honorable, you've described yourself as a landlord of the ADC. I mean, you're almost like the last man standing in some sense. And I wonder, if anybody wants to come into anybody's house, you have to speak with the landlord in that sense. If you want to do anything, speak with the landlord. And with all of these movements we've seen, you still say you will support the APC, but everybody's looking at the ADC as a coalition. So is your home or your house, in that sense, still open to the likes of Mr. Nasir El-Rufai, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, Mr. Peter Obi, and of course, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, saying that you have said you are the landlord of the ADC?
Well, Kawade, today I thought I came to educate Nigeria, but...
This is part of education, political education, Honorable. This is political education.
So I was not prepared for politics, but since you asked, well, you can see that coalition collapsed last week, Saturday. All over the country, they could not even win one seat. So that is the beginning of the end. And in the next by early next month, the coalition will collapse completely. Because I have said it without number, you cannot come to somebody's house, hijack his house, and you think that the person, no matter how stupid he is, he will be looking at you. I will let them know that I am the landlord. The landlord, somebody who I didn't establish the party, but I'm the one that got used to make the party to remain where it is today. And I have never come to any big party. I have used it to contest all my elections and brought people apart from myself to National Assembly and in the State Assembly. So, in all over the country, where do you see such? None. It's not existing. None of them knew that this party was there before. I don't believe the former Vice President Atiku is in this party. He has not taken our card. He's partyless now. He resigned from PDP, but he has not joined any party. And Obitu, he has not taken this. He's still a member of Labour Party. He said it severally. And there are people like former governor of Kaduna State, my other brother, Nasir El-Rufai. He has not, I don't think he's fully in this party yet. If he's there fully, there was an election in his state, he should be able to win one seat there. So maybe the only people who can say they are in this party now, they are a member of this party but not chairing any seats, is former Senate President David Mark and former Osun State Governor Ralph Aregbesola. So these are the two people that are just ordinary members of the party yet. They are not holding any position yet, according to the constitution of the party.
Well, that is very interesting because what we see is quite different. But I think it's a fair place to leave it. It's too early days.
If you read our constitution,
all right.
It's different.
All right, Honorable. Since you said you are not prepared, now you are bringing out the sword. So let us let it rest now. So we can let you go. I'll be speaking with Honorable Leke Abejide, Chairman House Committee on Customs, and now self-proclaimed landlord of the ADC. Thank you for your time, Honorable. Wish you the very best.
Thank you for greeting the landlord, and landlord is greeting you.